Mama, I know it's broken, but please don't throw it away. I think I can learn from it. 25-year-old Sable Monroe knelt beside the dumpster behind her apartment building, cradling a laptop with a cracked screen and missing keys. Her mother stood in the doorway above, exhaustion etched into every line of her face. "Baby, that's garbage. It doesn't even turn on." "But maybe I can fix it," Sable insisted, her voice trembling with desperate hope. "The library has books, free Wi-Fi. I can teach myself." Her father appeared behind her mother, his work-worn hands gripping the doorframe. "Sable, we've talked about this. You're 25. It's time to accept reality. You work at the grocery store. That's honest work. Stop dreaming about things that aren't for people like us." Sable's grip tightened on the broken laptop. "People like us. That's what Aunt Marla said last week, that we're embarrassing the family with our poverty, that I'm wasting my life with delusions. But Daddy, what if she's wrong? What if I could be more?" The pain in her father's eyes nearly broke her. He wasn't cruel, just defeated by years of watching doors close in their faces. "Come inside," her mother said softly, "before the neighbors see you digging in trash." But Sable had already made her decision. She tucked the laptop under her arm and climbed the stairs to their tiny apartment, ignoring her parents' worried glances. What Sable didn't know was that the laptop had been thrown away by a college student who'd simply upgraded to a newer model. The hard drive still worked, the battery still held a charge. With a borrowed cable and determination that bordered on obsession, Sable spent 3 weeks watching free YouTube tutorials, learning to replace the screen with parts from other discarded electronics, teaching herself to code with candlelight when the electricity bill went unpaid. Her relatives' mockery grew louder. At family gatherings, events her parents attended less and less, Aunt Marla would announce loudly, "Sable's still playing with her trash computer. 25 years old, living with her parents, pretending she's going to be some tech genius. It's pathetic." Uncle Vance would add, "Your parents should be ashamed, letting you waste time instead of finding a real job, a husband, something useful." But Sable kept learning. The library became her university. The broken laptop became her teacher. And slowly, impossibly, she began to understand not just how computers worked, but how to make them do extraordinary things. 6 months into her self-education, Sable built her first website, a simple platform connecting local food banks with restaurants that had surplus food. She showed it to her parents nervously. "This helps people not waste food, and it helps families like ours eat better. I thought maybe I could offer it to community organizations." Her mother's eyes filled with tears. "You built this? You?" "From nothing. From garbage and library books, and believing I could." Her father pulled her into a fierce hug, and she felt his shoulders shake. "I'm sorry. I'm so sorry I told you to stop dreaming. I was trying to protect you from disappointment." "I know, Daddy, but sometimes disappointment is the price of hoping." The website caught the attention of a local nonprofit director named Callum Reed, who reached out through the basic contact form Sable had coded. They met at a coffee shop, her first professional meeting, and she was terrified. "I saw what you built," Callum said, studying her with intelligent eyes. "Self-taught?" "Yes, sir. From a broken laptop I found." His eyebrows rose. "You found it?" Sable's cheeks burned. "In a dumpster. I couldn't afford to buy one." Callum was quiet for a moment, then asked, "How long have you been coding?" 8 months. 8 months, he repeated, shaking his head slowly. "And you built something that sophisticated? Sable, do you understand how rare that is? Most people with computer science degrees couldn't do what you've done." Sable stared at her hands. "My family thinks I'm wasting my time. My aunt says I'm delusional." "Your aunt is wrong," Callum said firmly. "I want to hire you as a freelance developer. Start with small projects. I'll pay you, not much at first, but fair rates, and I want to introduce you to other nonprofits who need affordable tech solutions." Tears blurred Sable's vision. "Why would you do this? You don't know me."
Because talent shouldn't be wasted just because someone started in a dumpster instead of a university, and because someone once gave me a chance when I had nothing. I'm just paying it forward.
Over the next year, Sable worked tirelessly, building websites and apps for nonprofits, teaching herself new programming languages, slowly establishing a reputation. Her parents watched in quiet amazement as their daughter transformed from a grocery store clerk into a sought-after developer. But the real transformation came at a family gathering 18 months after finding that laptop. Aunt Marla started her usual mockery. "Still playing with computers, Sable? When are you getting a real job?" Sable met her aunt's eyes calmly. "I just signed a contract with a national nonprofit. They're paying me more this year than I made in 5 years at the grocery store." The room went silent. Uncle Vance laughed uncomfortably. "Well, that can't last. You don't even have a degree." "You're right," Sable agreed, quietly. "I have something better. I have proof that I can learn anything I set my mind to, that poverty doesn't determine potential, that being underestimated is actually an advantage. It makes you hungry in ways comfort never could." Her father stood, his voice thick with emotion. "My daughter taught herself a career from a broken laptop she found in trash. While you were busy looking down on us, she was building a future. I'm done apologizing for our circumstances, and I'm done letting you make her feel small." Aunt Marla's face flushed, and several relatives quietly left. But others stayed, and Sable saw something shift in their expressions, a grudging respect, perhaps even shame. Later, as Sable and her parents drove home, her mother said softly, "I'm proud of you, baby, not because of the money, because you refused to let the world define you." "You taught me that," Sable replied, "both of you. You kept showing up, kept working, kept loving me, even when I seemed foolish. That's where I learned perseverance." 3 years after finding that broken laptop, Sable stood in her own small office, a one-room space she'd rented to meet with clients. Callum stopped by, bringing coffee. "Remember when we first met? You were terrified, convinced you didn't belong." Sable smiled. "I remember you saw something I couldn't see in myself." "I saw what you'd already accomplished with nothing," Callum corrected. "You did the hard part. I just opened a door." "Sometimes that's all people need," Sable said softly. "One person who believes, one opportunity, one broken laptop that someone else threw away, but held everything I needed to change my life." "What's next for you?" Callum asked. Sable pulled out a business plan. "I want to start a program teaching coding to low-income young people, using donated equipment, meeting them where they are, like you met me, showing them that education doesn't only happen in universities, it happens anywhere someone's willing to learn." Callum's eyes glistened. "That's perfect. That's exactly what the world needs." "It's what I needed. Now I get to be that for someone else." Education isn't confined to classrooms or expensive equipment. It lives in curiosity, in determination, in the willingness to learn from whatever we have, even if what we have is broken, discarded, deemed worthless by others. The greatest lessons don't come from perfection. They come from persistence, from refusing to accept that circumstances define destiny, from believing that what others throw away might be exactly what we need to build our future. Sometimes all it takes is one broken thing and the courage to fix it. One person who believes when everyone else doubts. One opportunity to prove that potential exists everywhere, even in dumpsters, even in poverty, even in the people society overlooks. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, subscribe, and comment. Let's spread more stories of kindness and hope together.